You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the May 27th special meeting for the Michigan City Urban Enterprise Association. You can find more information for this meeting by visiting www.accesslaportecounty.org.
All right, I call to order the Tuesday, May 27, 2025 special meeting of the Board of Directors for the Michigan City Urban Enterprise Association. I start with the roll call. Dakota.
Present.
Nick.
Present.
Jim.
Here.
Bruce.
Here.
Antonio.
Here.
Ms. Willis.
Here.
Councilman Nelson.
Present.
Our one and only item on the agenda is a neighborhood beautification partnership with the Michigan City Economic Development Corporation. So essentially, they have the same style grant that we ran, except the city has allocated ARPA funds to them to the tune of $50,000, and they are asking us to partner with them on the projects being completed in the urban enterprise in Michigan City. So they have reached out regarding the partnership in that aspect. Erin had originally asked her could she come present, but she never got back to me on that, and they want to release the grant on Friday is when they want to release the application for the grant. So I called the meeting to see if we were interested in partnering with them via the project.
So it's just one applicant for the whole grant?
No. They're opening up the applications.
Okay.
Essentially, the way it works, it will be a three-body committee, and then Aaron as the administrator. They were looking to have one Michigan City resident, one, I believe, the Michigan City resident, I believe was Danny Hogan, and they said Keela Ward from Workforce Development up here in the city, and then they suggested one person from the Urban Enterprise. I was going to suggest Dakota Euler on the project, on the committee to start to work with them. They require applicants to apply and come in and present like we had here, except the thing that's different, they are asking the applicants that apply for these projects to have 50% of the funds that they're asking for their projects, was the one thing that was different than what we had. And they will be using a scoring rubric sheet, is another part of the process that we didn't have that they were using for their project.
So, what part will we play in just giving them somebody to be on the committee?
We were giving them one person from the committee, and we were paying half towards the projects that were being completed in the urban enterprise. Whatever set amount, if we decide we want to do it, let's say if we decide we want to do $3,000 towards the project, that we'll split the project cost that they're using, that the projects for that operate in urban enterprise, because that's the only way our funds can be spent. We would pay half the cost towards those projects.
Now, how much money was they giving them through the ARPA? That's giving them 50 through the ARPA fund.
From my understanding, it was $50,000.
So they're giving them 50, and they want us to collaborate with them and cut the cost and give them whatever halfway.
Correct.
Does that mean we're also coming up with 50?
No. 50 was what they were giving overall total for the project throughout the city. They were asking us to partner with them on the projects that are being completed in the urban enterprise.
Inside the urban enterprise
Inside the
zone.
urban enterprise, that's on the
That's right.
So basically, it's going to extend the amount the Urban Enterprise Association can give towards projects, and essentially it's also extending what the city would essentially have to give towards projects elsewhere.
It's like matching funds.
Yes.
So we could agree to do 50-50 and then, but like to not to exceed kind of thing.
Yeah, because
Because what if they spent 40 of the 50 in the urban enterprise? Now we're on the hook for 40 grand. Like, so you have to have like a not to exceed.
Yeah.
Because we don't know who's applying and who's not.
I guess how much do we want to participate?
That's the question that was kind of laying out. On the outstanding balance and shit, I think you gave it to everybody. It showed what we have outstanding still. We have the contract with Dan Bowich that it was a do not exceed $10,000 contract that we haven't been billed for yet. In our contract, in the office rental space with Lahai Investment, for the remainder of the year comes about $2,640. CLH, who we use for our tax returns and our QuickBooks, we have an outstanding bill of $200 with them. And then our executive assistant contract, the total out the rest of the year will be $21,000. And as of today, I believe the account stands at about $218,000. And then I think she sent out the funded projects that we have. $26,000 that we have allocated from the $100,000 that we allocated, and then we're set to start receiving the participation fees for this year, which I think everybody should have a copy from the last meeting, which about $68,000 that'll be coming in. So, I mean, those are the numbers that we currently stand, and I believe on the funded projects was everything that we had, everything from the last meeting included in everything that had been approved, just not yet paid out correctly.
Not everything from the last meeting. No, like everything up until, everything from the previous two. So not from, I haven't added anything from the last meeting because nobody's project has been completed yet.
Yeah, because we approved quite a bit last meeting.
Yeah,
I'm
so,
well, I thought that had the total.
Probably, I was just gonna say 40-ish something thousand.
So the 26,000 remaining wasn't the accurate of how much we have left that we initially allocated for $100,000 for this year's grant cycle?
so that, yes, that is what is going to be left to give away for our next meeting.
Yeah, I think, I remember the email you sent, yeah, it looked like that was including everything that we allocated from last meeting. So I think the aggregate is 26, if I remember,
Yeah, 20, yeah.
So we got 26 left?
for the rest of the
For
grant
that-
cycle.
At that time, of that, yeah.
Yes.
But
so
that 218 isn't reflective of what we did.
No, everything has come out of the 6860 account, and I believe we moved most of that money to,
Money market.
Money market.
yeah, so it's not including that.
Me personally, they got 50 from the city. Why do they want something from us?
Don't ask. You don't get it if you don't ask. I mean,
I'm just,
that's why.
I can't.
Because I work with the ARPA money and I said distribute. Like, nobody has reached out to us and say, hey, what do we need? Like, are y'all running out of funds? Y'all need a little extra or whatnot?
Then correct me if I'm wrong, were we trying to start to kind of build a little bit better relationship with Clarence and the EDC? So this could be, a nice little olive branch. Like I said, we don't have to go crazy. We'll do it not to exceed kind of, What's their grant? Like how much can someone get?
I think the maximum.
3,000?
Yeah, that's this was.
That's the max one. So if 5 people, or say 4 people.
15?
I would say there's only 1,500 they can receive because they have to have 50% matching funds for, so
3, so that's
So it,
16, 17 people that they can give it to.
so is the match only for their applicants? What about UEA applicants?
our funds can only go towards the UE applicants.
No, now let's say if our applicant come in for us, we approve them. Will Clarence's group still give us 50% towards their project?
No, that ain't got
Or
nothing
it's
to
only towards EDC's
That's
project?
for their
It's
project.
only,
For their-
it's only towards their project that they have, that they're asking
So
us.
I think we should see if they was open to giving us funds to extend our, to
In the
continue
future,
our
at the very
neighborhood.
least,
That makes
like you said, an
sense.
olive branch, like next year, what can y'all do for us?
If it's like, we both helping each other, if our
Right.
applicants, we can get 50-50 on both sides, I think they help both of us. Like applicants that we approve for, say, we get somebody from approve, saying they got 100, if they're willing to do the 50-50, 3750, we do 3750.
Right.
That's fair. And when their applicant come in, we do 50-50, that's fair. But just to do it just once on their side,
And our beautification grants are max 500, right? I was just gonna ask, like, why wouldn't somebody just apply through us? But it's
yeah.
obviously.
Well, yeah, why wouldn't they applicant just apply through us and they fund it for them?
There you go.
I wish they were here to answer all
Because
this.
that's what the
That's what we
100%
Yeah.
is. what-
As in, we could run the whole thing and then they could
Fund
fund it,
Yes.
right? Because I feel like that's probably how LaPorte runs their,
Yeah. I
their,
don't think we want to give up that part of what we're doing.
Right.
But we definitely want to establish a relationship, but it's like, what do we get out of it? That's what I would like to know.
But if we run it through ours is only $500.
True.
I feel like partnering with them should be able to
Bridge that
make
gap.
ours bigger.
Right.
Like,
And
we
then we
shouldn't
could
be
expand the amount.
trying to
that
keep
we-
up with them. They should be, I feel like they should be helping us out. Like, instead of us trying to keep up with them in a way. I feel like LaPorte would be like, here to their UEA, you know what I'm saying? I feel like the economic development is like the big brother and they should kind of give us
Well, you
some
said,
money.
why didn't we get some ARP funds?
Yeah, yeah. Can they do that?
It's a lot of different moving parts with
I
that.
hate
Can they do that?
Tell us
I think
what
Mayor
moves to
Anthony
make
had-
councilman.
There's no way to get no more.
Ain't no moves to make. It's either you in or you not. Like, I'm just being honest with all.
For the sake of moving on
It's a
to
lot of committees
No
and
answer.
boards don't get
If
off.
somebody's like really strongly politically
We're not
connected.
that excited.
I'm sorry, go ahead, John.
just say for the sake of
It was
just
just money
moving
that
on
needs to be
something,
allocated really
because
quick.
it sounds like the grant cycle is going to start soon for them?
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
do we want to just, like I said, just approve this and, you know, with a not to exceed like $5,000, but then kind of sidebar with them, be like, listen, you know, if we had more time for discussion,
Yeah,
I can continue this, but we want to maybe see it kind of get changed up later where maybe we get the money or whatever. But like I said, just for the sake of timeliness right now.
Seems redundant right now.
Friday is the day.
Both them and us.
Friday's the day they want to release.
Yeah.
For the
they
same
wanna start
style
releasing the
grant.
grants.
So with far as making their bad time in our emergency,
Yeah, good way to put it.
I think we should do it at a minimum until they bring somebody on the forefront and answer some of these questions that we got.
Do we know when their grant cycle closes?
I think she's in here. One second.
You know, while you're doing that, I like to see their temperature on it, because, you know, the meeting we had with Clarence, he was not warm and fuzzy. He wasn't giving us a hug. So that's a maybe kind of a peculiar way to be coming and asking us.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Don't make your bad plan our emergency right now.
Accepted through Friday, August 29th, 2025, until all funds. Projects are completed by December 1st, and grant application release is Friday, May 30th, 2025.
So that basically have a 3-month grant cycle.
And they've known about this for how long? But
She,
I ain't trying to put you on.
I mean, she sent me the
I'm
email.
sorry, brother.
Yeah, they remember her. I mean, I gave y'all information as soon as it got brought to me.
So I got a question. Their beautification grant covers what though?
It's essentially
Window sidings and stuff like that, or what is it for?
no. Their neighborhood. It's just like our neighborhood beautification grant. Like it had nothing to do with price. Like neighborhood cleanups.
Oh, okay. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Dumpster program or something.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking okay, that's a little different then. Because there's like almost a whole community type of thing.
Yeah.
I'm thinking we're talking about just single family, like individual projects, people signing up for projects or something. There's community type of things.
Yeah, so it'd have
That's a
to be
little different.
the neighborhood associations or whatnot would have to come apply.
Yep,
I'm assuming.
yeah.
That's a little
And then we have to put up half.
Didn't you mention like 2 or 3 people that had applied? Didn't you say some names?
No, I was saying the people that they had for the committee.
Oh, they put on the board.
3 people for the committee. Yeah. That's what I was talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, the sample project ideas are planning, landscaping, and public space, neighborhood/block gardening, graffiti/weed abatement efforts, neighborhood cleanups and restoration efforts, and neighborhood-led activities and support. Coordinated holiday decorations, displays, community engagement, public safety, events, and activities.
Those are great things.
Yes, that's different.
That's what I'm saying. It's
Like, yes, that's totally different.
We're just starting though, so.
Yeah.
They got the big,
Yeah, that's totally different.
I'd be curious to know, have they done this in the past and what have they used it for and who's been given the funds or the grants?
And what budget?
I don't think I don't know. I don't think. I mean, because essentially this is probably gonna be the only year this project even happens because it's the ARPA fund
Right.
that is funding the project.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of my idea. And I think I couldn't see them doing this before, and nobody not hearing about it. So I think it's simply just based off the ARPA funds that was allocated towards it.
So my association wanted to do a project in Eastport, okay? And we wanted to go for the max. We would have to come up with how much we have to come up with? We'd have to come up with $1,500 or
In order to
Yeah,
qualify for funding,
qualify for it.
in order to qualify for funding, applicants must provide a budget and match 50% of requested funding, monetary or in-kind donations, sweat equity, etc.
Also,
Sweat equity.
Yeah.
It's all very subjective, isn't it?
only supposed to do the 50% if it's an applicant to get approved it's in the urban enterprise.
Yeah, our funds can only be used in urban enterprise.
So if somebody outside the urban enterprise, we don't have to give them the 50%.
No, we don't have anything to do with the project outside
Okay,
urban
okay.
enterprise.
And they kind of complying with what
That's kinda
we
fair.
doing. They want to do it. They want to do it.
That's
They want to
kinda fair.
do it within the urban enterprise.
Yeah, our funds can only go towards urban enterprise projects.
Okay, so
But the 50,000 is for the whole city, but our funds are only can be used for these projects that operate within our zones that are.
I like the idea.
so the applicants they pick, they have to be within the urban enterprise for us to match their funds.
Correct.
Correct, yeah.
I don't like taking money away from Mrs. Smith who comes in to get the windows fixed. That's what makes me nervous.
That's true. But our beautification, we only got so much, don't we?
We had 4 grants. I mean, we had.
Yeah, I know, we already allocated
I
some.
feel like they're doing the same thing we doing. Why not just give us that 50?
Well, so,
It's just,
so let's look at it this way.
Some of it.
What about,
Something.
how,
Well, I don't know how the ARPA funds, the way they allocate, I don't know if you can allocate the ARPA funds to them and then I don't think they can just.
they can't redisperse.
They can't redisperse them to us. I don't think it works. like
ARPA
that.
funds
I think it
are
has to stay with the municipality.
granted in.
That's what I think.
But aren't we like,
They're
Not-
can,
No, I just said the ARPA funds are granted to entities, some, because we got some.
Correct.
we should?
Those are Rodney's
Those
points.
are already in place.
Yeah,
So
thanks,
that's
Rodney.
my question. If we wanted to
Yeah.
fund a project, then we just have to, the maximum is 3,000. So if we wanted to fund a project, we have to come up with 1,500.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way it goes, right?
As long as it's in the EDC.
So,
No, the UE, we would, if they was in the urban enterprise,
so
not the applicant.
that would be,
No, the applicant has come with 15.
The applicant has to come up with 50% towards.
yeah, the applicant has to come up with the $1,500.
allocated specifically for that.
Yeah.
If they got a $6,000 project, they could get 3
So
from
then-
this, or whatever, as long as they have $1,500.
So 750, 750,
For sure.
and then, yeah.
But it's a combination of cash or sweat equity or.
I mean, and who's gonna measure how you
Yeah, again,
measure
how do you
that,
Right,
you know?
who, so are we gonna go out and help
That's
work
subjective.
at any of these?
Well,
I mean, if you
most of
want
us
to,
are in, most of us here are all in neighborhood associations though, also. So we are gonna be working anyway.
Well, it's only one member. The way it was
So
suggested.
the committee is one member.
One member from us. Now I was suggesting Dakota
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Dakota from us
Yeah.
representing UA on the board for that.
And then from there, I'm sure they'll decide, approve.
Who
or
get approved
deny
for the applicants for that, yeah.
Based off.
Well, yeah, they're using the scoring rubric is how they got it formatted.
I'm trying to figure out a justifiable way to figure out the funds up front before we make a commitment. And let's just say, that the UEZ is 20% of the city, right? Can they allocate 20% of those funds, or say like 10 grand allocated towards the UEZ beautification to be used or not to be used, and we match that 10,000 to be used or not to be used? I don't know, I'm just trying to think of a justifiable
I
way.
get what you're
That would be a
saying.
good question.
Yeah,
If we had somebody that represents.
Yeah, they could set that chunk aside, and then they know how much more they have to spend on the rest of the city.
And this starts already.
As far as what we do, as far as what we're doing today, because it don't seem like nobody's here to answer questions as far as we need to determine how much we are willing to participate
Right.
initially.
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole point. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So with that being said, I guess what do we have compared to what we're willing to give?
So at 3,000, they could give up to roughly 16.
How many projects
That's
are we
the
willing to
max.
sponsor, I guess?
And if the city's roughly 20%, we'll just call it 25%, that would be 4 potential projects, so that's 12,000 total dollars. So we could be on the hook for 6,000 if we wanted to do like a not to exceed 6,000. Roughly, if we're just,
Yeah,
best
just
guess.
throwing numbers out there, guessing.
I don't think 6,000 is down there. I
I don't think it
just
is
5.
either.
I was thinking 5. I'm not
Well,
gonna.
I don't think this is playing out perfectly, right, because it's last minute or whatever, but I think at the end of the day, it gets us the end result we're all looking for.
100% completely.
So regardless of how it really happened, it could have been
Yeah.
better, but at the end of the day, if neighborhoods are getting nicer and it's working, then it's working.
Mhm,
That's why we're here, right?
Yeah.
The money does no good sitting in the bank, I always say.
That's
Agree
right.
100%.
So I think Jim's volunteered to make a motion.
I'll make a motion for ready for one. I mean, I'm gonna do $6,000. I'll make a motion,
Second.
we do the matching grants for UEZ only applicants with a not to exceed 6,000 total dollars.
Second.
I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, I'll call for the vote. All in favor?
Alright.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next on the agenda was adjournment. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.